allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Megan, will you call the roll?
Yes, Trustee Lautner?
Here.
Trustee Zara?
Here.
Trustee Council?
Here.
Trustee Sheehan?
Here.
Trustee Stewart? Here. Trustee Caputo?
Here.
President DeCipio?
Here.
A quorum is present, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Next up on our agenda is the swearing in of paid on-call firefighters Scott Henke and Joseph Schmidt. The following paid on-call firefighters have successfully completed their probationary period requirements in the past few months. During their probationary period, each has completed the Basic Operations Fire Academy, becoming state-certified firefighters, and also completed emergency medical services training and are licensed EMTBs. They have also been tested on general knowledge of policy, standard operating guidelines, apparatus, and equipment, and have passed the practical driving and pumping tests for our fire apparatus. Joseph Schmidt began as a candidate with our department on January 6th of 2022 and completed his probationary period earlier this year on January 6th. Joe lives in our village on Beach Avenue. Scott Henke also began as a candidate with our department on January 6th of 2022 and completed his probationary period earlier this month on April 5th. Scott lives on Newberry Avenue in our village. Chief?
All right, welcome. Glad to see everybody out to support Scott and Joseph. Great night tonight, as always, when we get to do this. I do like to say a couple remarks just to remind the audience. One of the things when we look at firefighters, we believe, they have to be brave, they have to be courageous, they're role models and somebody to look up to. You go across the nation, sometimes throughout the world, it's usually the same. Not everybody may think that, but most people do. The personnel here tonight, and most of our part-time paid-on-call personnel, they don't just do that as a career, so they don't have to take all that responsibility on as their full-time job. They have to do it also in addition to their full-time career. So the commitment, time, and dedication that goes into where we got to tonight and what the future will hold with these two gentlemen and everybody else on our department is pretty intense and extreme. Again, you heard a little bit of what they did as far as how they got here, but there is a lot to that. The Basic Fire Operations Fire Academy has many, many topics, much physical activity that they have to go through. EMT school, much education, much understanding of the body, of many things related to care out in the field during emergencies. And once again, all of that and learning to operate tools, all of that they are doing in addition to what they have to do full time to support their life and their family in some cases. Joe is a full-time supervisor with Nicor Gas. And Scott is a business owner, a proprietor of shoes and footwear. And he kind of runs that on his own and is the key person in his business. So besides those responsibilities and their families, girlfriends, and everything else that they have to look forward to in their life coming up, they still have these responsibilities of being a firefighter. So again, big achievement tonight to get to this point, and we are glad you are here. So two things we're going to do. As always, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have Megan, our clerk, swear you in. If you want to do it both at the same time, is that okay? They both get sworn in? Why don't you both come up here first? Okay. We'll do one at a time. So you guys flip. No, you can stay up here. No, you can stay up here. Stay up here.
And actually, we're going to switch spots so everybody can see you guys as you're doing it. All right. I have Scott first here, so. Yep, okay. All right, so just raise your right hand, please. And repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Scott Henke,
Hereby do solemnly swear
hereby do solemnly swear
that I will uphold and defend
that I will uphold and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Illinois,
of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully carry out
and I will faithfully carry out
all the duties imposed upon
all the duties imposed upon
and entrusted in me
and entrusted in me
as a firefighter
as a firefighter
of the Village of LaGrange Park,
of the Village of LaGrange Park,
Cook County, Illinois.
Cook County, Illinois.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ready? Okay, thank you. I state your name.
I, Joseph Schmidt,
Hereby do solemnly swear
hereby do solemnly swear
that I will uphold and defend
that I will uphold and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Illinois,
of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully carry out
and I will faithfully carry out
all the duties imposed upon
all the duties imposed upon
and entrusted in me
and entrusted in me
as a firefighter
as a firefighter
of the Village of LaGrange Park,
of the Village of LaGrange Park,
Cook County, Illinois.
Cook County.
Congratulations.
Great, thank you, and congratulations. The next step for tonight is we'd like to honor both of our personnel here that are being sworn in with the official badge pinning ceremony. When you get hired on the fire department, you get some work uniforms that you have to wear, but you don't get a full uniform and a real badge until you pass probation. There's a lot that goes into probation. It's almost symbolic, not to mention investing more money in them. No, but they have panned out great. So tonight, why don't we go ahead and we'll start with Joe. Who do you have here tonight?
My wife, Genesis Schmidt.
Okay, do you want her to do the pinning on then?
Yeah.
Great. Come on up. I didn't prep this, but that's okay. There we go. Excellent. Congratulations. Congratulations. And Scott, why don't you come on up? And who do we have here tonight?
My girlfriend, Magali.
Anybody else in the family from either of you?
Father, mom, and my stepmom and my buddy Dave.
Great. Okay. Good. Good to point them out. Come on up. There you go. All right. Congratulations. Thank you. If you could just all come up, the four of you again, if you don't mind coming up. If I can say so again, there's been a lot of dedication to this point. There is a lot of dedication and work ahead. But if we can get one more congratulations, applause, and then maybe a quick picture after that, that'd be great. So thank you again. Congratulations.
Very good. Smile. Sneeze, looking good. All right. Got it.
Thank you. Again, there'll be plenty of time for pictures outside if you want, and then you don't have to stay for the rest of the board meeting, which could go on a while. So thank you, everyone who came, and appreciate it. Congratulations again. If you guys just want to pass through and just say hi to everybody. Thanks.
Good luck.
Purple folder when you're done with it. Yeah, yeah.
Boy, always. Okay, next up, we have a presentation, Visit Oak Park.
Good evening, President and trustees of the board. My name is Annie Coakley. I am the director of Visit Oak Park. Not sure how many of you are familiar with the organization Visit Oak Park, but we are a destination marketing organization certified by the state of Illinois. We are funded through DCEO grants from the Illinois Office of Tourism, lots of acronyms. We're one of 35 bureaus that cover the state of Illinois. Our service area covers about 19 communities outside of Oak Park. It was founded in 1993 as just a visitor organization for Oak Park specifically. And since 93, it has grown to cover a larger service area. But generally, people don't completely understand what marketing, destination marketing organizations do or why they do it. And it's bottom line economic development that starts with marketing. So what we try to do is reach visitors or guests through, historically it was anyone over 50 miles, but after the pandemic it has drastically shortened. So 15 miles, 20 miles, 25 miles. We want outsiders' money to come to the communities in our service area. And one of the things that we always point to is economic vitality that's been generated, sales tax that's been generated, and jobs. This is a snapshot of our service area that we cover currently. So you can see a handful of these communities are in our service area. They certify us, and Grange Park certified us this year. Essentially what that means is the certification letters go to the IOT, the Illinois Office of Tourism. They have a formula based on hotel-motel tax, sales tax, and population. And then they give us a grant. It's around $600,000, and then we have to match it locally in order to get it. This is just some competition, right? So these are the destination marketing organizations that are in the Chicago area, Lake County, Discover DuPage is just west us. Rosemont has its own for their own city, but of course they have a ton of hotels. We are bordered by Chicago with a $28 million budget. All of these organizations have larger budgets than we do, but we think we have a pretty good strategy to stay competitive, which I'm going to go over. So one of the things that we have to do is remain lean. One of the things that I want to do, and I started about a year ago in 2024, is to engage more with our community partners. I have had a lot of feedback from sit-down meetings, which I've had with staff here, is that we don't hear from you. It's kind of a lot of, what have you done for us lately, is the feedback that I get generally. So I want to change that. And one of the things that we also concentrate on is content, which I'll go to in a minute. But it is generally marketing all day long, right? That's what we're doing. This is an example of a campaign that we're putting into market this year. 15 weeks of summer of hundreds of reasons to visit. We'll put about $125,000 in advertising, into paid advertising for this campaign throughout the summer. There was a video, but I don't know if it'll come up. Oh, maybe it will. We'll see. Oh, it won't. I don't know how I would get it to play. Oh, maybe this play button. You know what, I'm gonna skip it. Maggie, I don't know what I did. Okay. I'll send you a copy of the video. It does include shots of Grange Park. We put 16 videos into market last year, and they're still very relevant, and they'll be so as I mentioned, content is king for us. So one of the things that we do specifically is we issue 3 blogs or articles each week. Our competition, meaning the other bureaus that surround us, are not doing anything like that. And the reason we do that is 93% of our website traffic is coming from these articles. There's a sample of 4 articles that we've issued in the past couple of months that mention or focus on Grange Park specifically. So what we're always trying to do is we call it the flywheel strategy, which is the same strategy that Amazon uses, and it is to attract, engage, and delight the visitor. So we're always trying to figure out what they want and meet them where they're at. So we use data, a lot of data. We use keyword search, SEO. We find out what people are searching for, and then our answer is we put a blog out. So if someone's asking restaurants near Village of Oak Park or LaGrange Park or LaGrange, we issue blogs, and then we are the authority for that. We want to outrank Yelp and other websites that a lot of people refer to as an authority, but we then rank higher and higher and higher, and so we're 1, 2, or 3 on a Google search, and that's our goal, and we're very successful at it. And our ranking has gone from like 17 to almost 27, and Wikipedia has an authority ranking of 35, so we're kind of kicking butt in that regard, if I do say so myself. And then what we also do is we have a very robust calendar of things that are happening in events, very seasonality, and we have a PR firm that we work with on a monthly basis. And that is something else our competition also doesn't do. And the reason we do it is the incredible ROI that we get from having a relationship with a hired PR firm. This is a spot we had for LaGrange Park Antique Mall last October. It was 9 live shots in one segment on WGN Weekend Break. And I have a little bit of data, last 2023, from January to July, we had 138 media spots, and the ad equivalency of that was $400,000. And we get that through the PR, but we don't have $400,000 to spend in every 4 months in advertising. So the PR is the other trick of the trade that we use that, again, our competition is not doing. So tonight, I'm just here to explain to you what we do, but what also I'm trying to do is work with these communities to talk about an investment in the organization. For a long time, Oak Park has been our match, so they are funding our match for everybody. So we are now asking communities if they are interested in being a continued partnership with us to invest $5,000 into Visit Oak Park, which will get you a series of these benefits that you see here. So, obviously the community description page on our website that comes along with the highlight video, tourism-focused business listings on our website, opportunity for promotion in Enjoy Illinois. If a community is not a partner with a CVB, they don't get access to that advertising specifically, and Enjoy Illinois' marketing budget is $45 million. So we put listings on their site on behalf of our community partners, and then it goes into market across the country and internationally with the $45 million. We are also part of another organization, it's like a collaboration of Chicago area CVBs called Visit Chicagoland, and we have a dedicated website which has paid advertising of about $2 million a year, which we also are included in. And any community that partners with us would also be included in. And then, of course, there's curated event and attraction promotion. So any events that you have coming up, we can write the blogs or have specific advertising or boosted social media. Also, we have some data insights that we can get from the state of Illinois that we can share with staff. Access to Illinois Office of Tourism grant opportunities. So the IoT often issues a lot of grants that can't be, like a community or a village couldn't apply for. It would have to be applied for through the certified CVB or the DMO. We also have programs where we're creating opt-in for co-marketing programs, which I won't get into, but inclusion in blog content, access to the PR that I mentioned earlier, access to licensed photography and video that we have. And the one that I know a lot of villages are very excited about is access to this reporting that we have called Tourism Economics. It is a very robust data set that we have access to through our relationship with Cook County. and it is only provided to us as a certified CVB. We track visitor spending and unique visitation. So we can track cell phone data and credit card spending of unique visitors to communities, and we can track where they're going before they come to LaGrange Park or where they're going after. It helps us, but it also is a really nice tool for communities that want that extra data that is very, very pricey. That was really all I have to share with you this evening, but I'm definitely open for questions if you have any.
Annie, thank you so much for
You're
the great
welcome.
presentation. Anybody have any questions? No? We were visited probably a couple years ago by an individual who was involved with the Oak Park Tourism Bureau. I can't remember his name.
Eric
Eric.
is he's my predecessor, sure.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I want to commend you on all the work that you guys have done to put this thing together.
Thank you.
Yes, Robert.
Oh, I just had a
Trustee
question,
Dora.
or a couple questions, possibly. So right now, do any of the municipalities besides Oak Park contribute to this, or?
No,
Okay, and then you're going to all of the municipalities? to
that's
ask?
correct. Yes.
Okay. And then if we did not buy into this, then do we not get access to all of these?
That's correct.
Okay, so
Yep.
that's how it is now. And then if we did buy in, then would we, this is a question for staff, will we put the link for this on our website too and like cross market? Or any thoughts on that?
I certainly think we can cross-market. That certainly makes sense. I think that the last time, Visit Oak Park did provide a beautiful video for LaGrange Park.
Mhm.
And the challenge was it was embedded into a website. So
Okay.
the way that we would have to cross-reference or cross-market would be to send them to the full website. And so we can certainly, if we maintain our participation and membership in the group, we can talk about best ways to integrate the work that they do for our community on our site. We can make sure that we can do that. But
Yeah, that's no
I think the
problem.
video is beautiful, and I'm guessing you will continue to provide additional new videos in the
Yes, we
future.
did 16 new videos last summer that have a variety of themes. So like frozen treats or things to do outdoors. And then we spread it out. We tried to hit it not everybody, but like if you fit the theme, we try to cross over, it's a pretty large swath of geography that we have to cover, but we think we covered it pretty fairly with the theme. So we have access to these 16 videos. I don't know how many have a LaGrange Park specific piece in them, but I believe quite a few do. In fact, our videographer grew up here, so he was very, very keen on making sure LaGrange Park was covered.
So we could work with them to figure out the best way to provide the materials that they produce, linked from our website, what makes the best sense.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. Are there any other communities that have signed up for this yet, or are we the first presentation?
No. So Riverside has signed up, Franklin Park, Forest Park, a handful. I can't think of them all off the top of my head, but yes.
And has everyone assessed the same amount?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The idea, this may not be the formula that we use forever because some communities have hotels and they have different assets. But we really thought the approach was now just to kind of get everybody used to the idea of getting the benefits and paying for them. So it was kind of like, let's just evenly ask everyone for a similar amount, or the same amount, not similar, and see what happens, right? Because I know that in the past, a lot of communities have been told, we'll never ask you for funding, which is just simply not sustainable.
And this was for a one-year sign-up?
Correct.
Any questions? Trustees? Nothing? Considering everything that we're doing here in LaGrange Park now, I think it would benefit us to get the word out there. But I would leave that up to staff and get their recommendations on progressing forward.
Oh, I totally understand. I don't expect any kind of decision. I just wanted to make sure you knew exactly what we're doing and what we're capable of.
Well, we thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Annie. Okay, any public participation? Chief? I'll say it again. Is there any public participation? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to consent agenda. Megan?
Thank you, Mr. President. The items on this evening's consent agenda are as follows. A, approval of minutes. 1, Village Board meeting, March 26, 2024. 2, Village Board closed session meeting, March 26, 2024. 3, Village Board work session meeting, April 9th, 2024. 4, Village Board closed session meeting, April 9th, 2024. B, action. Resolution approving fiscal year 2024-25 pay plan. Motion to approve a resolution approving pay plan and schedule of authorized positions for fiscal year 2024-25. Action. Fiscal year 2024 police pension contribution. Motion to authorize a payment in the not to exceed amount of $65,000 from the general fund to the police pension fund. D, action. Fiscal year 2023-24 budget amendments. Bless you. Motion to approve a resolution amending the fiscal year 2023-24 budget. E, action. Accounts payroll and payroll summary. Motion 1, to authorize the president and chairperson of the finance committee to sign the register for bills and authorize the treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in payment of operating bills and salaries as itemized in the check registers. And motion 2, to authorize the village treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in the payment of payroll and other bills that become due between this date and the next village board meeting, with subsequent approval of the payroll register and voucher register by the Board of Trustees at its next meeting.
Motion for consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Caputo?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Okay, moving on. Village Manager's report. Julia?
Thank you, Mr. President. I have one update for the board this evening. This is an update regarding the banners celebrating J.J. McCarthy. These are the banners that are located on 31st Street, which recently received some very good coverage on Channel 7 News just yesterday. And this is a view of what the banners, or one of the banners, looks like. A village staff has nearly completed its work in creating an online auction for the banners that are on display on 31st Street. The village will begin promotion of the online auction at the end of this week. The village plans to open the auction on May 1st, and it will extend for 2 weeks. There are 5 banner styles to choose from, 20 total being auctioned. The proceeds from the auction will go to community programming, which is provided by the village, the community park district, and the library. So the proceeds will be split 3 ways. There are a couple of folks that I want to give thanks to as part of this process, both with regard to the design of the banners, supporting the banners, as well as the online auction. Special thanks to Sandy Bacalich and Gabe Oppenheim from the Public Library for designing and putting together the auction project. Special thanks to Jason Kornick, for the owner of Post 031, for sponsoring the banners, and for all of those in the community and throughout the United States who are going to participate in the online auction. Good luck, and it all starts on May 1st. And with that, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. Okay, moving on to Administration Committee. Trustee Council.
Thank you, President DeCipio. My report is as follows. Community Volunteer Day will be held on Saturday, May 18th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Volunteers will provide assistance to older adults in the community who need help with basic lawn care and quote-unquote spring cleaning. This day of service is a great opportunity for individuals, families, and organizations to support their neighbors and make a positive mark on the community. Visit the village's website to register for the event or to request volunteer assistance. Contact Maggie Jar for more information. Youth Commission vacancies. The village will be seeking 2 new members to serve on the Youth Commission during the next school year. This is a great opportunity for students in grades 7 through 12 to engage with their peers on community issues. Meetings are held once a month on Monday evenings from September through June. Visit the village's website to learn more and apply by June 28th. Next on the agenda is the travel expenses for the 2024 LaGrange Park Lobby Day. The purpose is to approve travel expenses for the 2024 LaGrange Park Lobby Day in Springfield. The Local Government Travel Expense Control Act mandates that a local government's corporate authorities must approve by roll call vote all travel expenses by the corporate authorities. On April 3rd, village representatives attended a LaGrange Park Lobby Day in Springfield, Illinois, hosted by our village lobbyist, Mike Zaleski. The trip gave attendees an opportunity to meet with legislators to discuss concerns specific to the village of LaGrange Park. It is required under the Act. Travel expenditures are itemized in our packet tonight. Once approved by the village board, staff will process expenditures in accordance with the village's travel expense policy, which was adopted by the board in January of 2017. This item is for discussion and action at tonight's meeting. Therefore, I'd like to make a motion to approve travel expenses in the amount of $886.53 for attending the LaGrange Park Lobby Day in Springfield, Illinois.
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion, trustee Council.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, this is something that is required of the village to support financially. So obviously, I'm in favor of this. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Council. Any other comments from the board? Trustee Wadner?
Thank you, Mr. President. Certainly the expenses are very reasonable that I've taken a look at. But if any one of the attendees could add just maybe a couple sentences, from what I've been able to gather so far, it sounded like a very successful trip. That certainly more than justifies the expense, but if, with not necessarily expecting a full report, but just maybe just a little bit of feedback for the community at large that might be listening on the benefit of the trip.
Thank you, trustee Wadner. Trustee Stewart, thoughts?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President, Trustee Laudner. You know, this was my second time in Springfield, and we met with a number of different representatives, and we saw Governor Pritzker speak and Speaker Welch speak, and the big hot button topic was the grocery tax. So we really tried to, you know, our best to campaign against it and talk strategy around how can we eliminate that for a lot of different communities. So that was the main goal. But yeah, it was a great event, and there were a lot of municipalities there sort of fighting for the same goals. I don't know if anybody else wanted to add.
Well, it looked like you'd had the occasion and the success of meeting with several of our legislators. That, you know, certainly having the opportunity to have their ear, that ultimately returns into a benefit of funding back to the community. And
Absolutely.
You know, so it looked like you pretty much had spent a significant amount of time. I just wanted to kind of confirm your view on that.
Sure, and Mike does a great job of connecting us with the right people. I know Jim and Julia know a lot of folks just with their various trips, but for me being a first timer, it was really great to be able to connect all those different representatives, and hope to build upon that over the next couple of years as well. So.
Thank you, trustee Stewart.
Yeah.
Trustee Zora?
Thank you, President DeCipio. I mean, it was a great trip. We talked to many, many different people about all of our issues, the stormwater management issues that we have, the pension issues. We asked for whatever we could. So hopefully something will come out of it, but we spent our entire day talking to representatives and asking them to help us and the community. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Zora. I will add that I think we're becoming known down there. I think our representatives, we've got a great relationship with all of our representatives and senators. In addition to meeting with all the political people down there, I think one of the biggest assets was that I got to sit with Julia and Janie and Jermaine and sit and talk about village stuff, but most importantly, get to know who they are and what we're all about. And it's just nice being together out of the village someplace else. We didn't go to Las Vegas, we went to Springfield. Okay, I want to make that known so we don't get confused with other villages. But it was a great trip. It was a great trip, but We have one more trip down there in 2 weeks. And I'm not sure, I think we've talked to everybody already, so we may take a second round. But when they begin to know us and who we are, when they come in and Jamie introduced herself and Jermaine and Julie and myself, it becomes, we get a relationship going. And it's not any pressure. We're just there to talk and tell our needs and give them handouts. And I think we're one of many that comes in during the day, but I think they listen to what we have to say. Julia?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple of items to dovetail off of some of the highlights that were mentioned previously. For the LaGrange Park Drive Down, this is the first time that we went solely representing ourselves and not a part of another organization. And with the assistance of our lobbyist arranging each of these meetings, we had the undivided attention of our legislators. Of special note, we had more than a 30-minute meeting with the House Speaker, Chris Welsh, and Representative LaShawn Ford. We met with local government municipal friendly Representative Anthony DeLuca on more than one occasion, and met with, we were able to have dinner with Representative Rashid. We were able to share the village's viewpoints on some pending legislation that is at a tipping point, I would say, right now at this session. A lot of what we talked about represents not just our viewpoint, but the surrounding community's viewpoints as well. They're in a similar position as it relates to the grocery tax and pension issues. But the last comment I will make is we came down to Springfield, met our lobbyists there, met with all of our representatives, but we came fully prepared. So all of the issues that we took with us down to Springfield, we were fully prepared with all of the backup data, all of the material on all of the priorities as established by the village board, whether it was the central area sewer separation project, the additional funding that we need for the lead service lines, the work that we need or the assistance that we need from IDOT to achieve the pedestrian and public safety on LaGrange Road. We came prepared, and we had all of that documentation with us. So when we met with our representatives and we talked about the issues that were important to us, we were able to leave this information behind for their consideration. But it was a fabulous trip. Both of the trips were, that one in particular, the first of its kind. And that's all I wanted to add.
Thank you, Julia. Miss Maggie? How was your trip?
It was great for all the reasons that you all covered. No, it was my first time in Springfield for the IML Lobby Day, and it was a terrific
It's a great experience, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Okay, we have to call the roll, don't we?
do,
Okay.
yes.
Megan, call the roll.
All right, trustee Launer,
Yes.
trustee Zara,
Yes.
trustee Council, trustee Sheehan,
Yes.
trustee Stewart,
Yes.
trustee Caputo.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. And thank you, trustee council.
Thank you, President DeCipio.
Moving on, building and zoning committee, trustee Zora.
Thank you. I'd like to report the building department activities for March 2024. 16 building permits were issued in March compared to 60 last March. As of March, the pace of permit submittals year-to-date is equal to the pace of last year. Estimated construction costs for the last month were just over $1.2 million, which is more than the $905,430 that was realized in March 2023. Permit fees collected last month equaled $23,111, which is more than the $18,198 of permit fees collected in March 2023. 110 inspections were conducted this past month compared to 132 in March 2023. 7 were not approved. A total of 23 new code enforcement cases were recorded last month. 4 of those projects were closed out, and the remaining 19 cases required further code enforcement action. And that is all I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Zora. Engineering capital projects, trustee Stewart.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is this month's summary report for engineering and capital projects. National Power Riding Corp. Started and completed work on the 23-24 sewer cleaning and televising project. They televised approximately 7,500 feet of combined sewers ranging from 8 to 15 inches in diameter. This is a yearly maintenance program to keep the sewers functioning at full capacity and also document sections that need repair. The village opened bids for the MWRD Green Infrastructure Alley project on March 12th. The low bidder was Davis Concrete Construction Company with a bid of $434,385. The village is receiving funds from the MWRD towards this project. The new alleys will have a pervious brick center to drain storm runoff onto a stone base rather than directly into the combined sewer. This will help reduce flooding in the local area. Work is expected to start in May. Lastly, National Power Rotting Company again began work on the 23-24 sewer lining project. They televised approximately 2,900 feet of combined and sewer storm sewers ranging from 10 to 15 inches in diameter. This will document where the service taps are located so they can be cut open after the liner is installed in the pipe. This is a yearly maintenance program in the village that involves lining sections of sewer that are in poor condition before they need complete replacement. And that concludes my report this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Stewart. Okay, Public Safety, Trustee Caputo.
Thank you, President DeCipio. First on the agenda is the Police Department summary of activities for March of 2024. In addition to the attached statistical summaries, the following items are being reported to apprise the village president and board trustees on current police department operations for the month of March 2024. The total number of crimes reported for the first 3 months of 2024 are slightly lower than last year, with 63 incidents reported this year compared to 76 in 2023. Traffic enforcement is at 954 total tickets issued through March of 2024. Overall police activity is 5% lower to last year, with 1,012 total incidents reported in the month of March 2024 compared to 1,129 total incidents in the month of March of 2023. Of those 1,012 total incidents, 72 were assist to the fire department, 246 were sorry about that, I lost track of my screen here. 246 were self-initiated building or park checks, 251 were traffic stops, and 64 were closed home checks. Department members attended 337 hours of training, along with the completion of required monthly online training, Lexipol daily training bulletins, along with bloodborne pathogens and hazmat training. Probationary officers Hott and Olson have completed the field training process and were released to solo patrol. Numerous members of the department took part in Special Olympics polar plunge and raised nearly $3,810 for this cause. Mark your calendars and do not miss the upcoming police department special events. First one is National Night Out. This year, we will again be partaking in National Night Out with the Village of Western Springs and the Western Springs Police Department. The event will take place on Tuesday, August 6th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. on the grounds of the historic water tower, the Tower Green, located at 914 Hillgrove in Western Springs. Come have a hot dog, bag of chips, and a bottle of water while enjoying time with some family, friendly activities. Please follow us on social media for further details as this event gets closer. Please follow the police department on our Facebook page at LaGrange Park Police Department, our Twitter account at LaGrange Park PD, and Instagram at LaGrange Park PD. A friendly reminder about securing one's personal property at all times. Please lock your vehicles in residence, especially during overnight hours. If you are going on vacation, please utilize the new online vacation watch portal, frontlinepss.org/LaGrange Park, or log onto the village website and access the portal under the police department page. If you do not have internet access, feel free to fill out a vacation watch card at the PD between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. And again, if there's any questions, please contact me with any questions or need any further assistance. That concludes the police report. I now have the fire report for the month of March 2024. As requested for insertion into the village board meeting agenda packet, the following is a brief summary of fire department activity highlights for the month of March. As usual, a more comprehensive monthly report is kept within the department for your review. EMS incidents this month were 142. There have been 464 year-to-date, again compared to 464 year-to-date in 2023. Fire rescue incidents this month equaled 36. There have been 137 year-to-date compared to 125 year-to-date in 2023. For training this month, personnel reviewed responses to live electrical line and equipment emergencies and reviewed pre-incident planning for the Village Market South. Firefighters also begun to utilize a home located at 345 North Spring for training, which is scheduled for demo. Staff worked through concerns related to our outdoor warning siren at the Village Hall, which failed to activate automatically during routine testing. The issue appears resolved, and then the siren activates properly. An annual maintenance inspection was completed on our hydraulic rescue and extrication tools. Chief Magos completed and submitted another application for a FEMA Assistance of Firefighters grant application for 2 new monitor defibrillators and a stretcher power loading system. One of our personnel attended court for the driver who crashed into our ambulance last year, and meetings took place to discuss the pending retirement of building fire specialist Allison Chorley. Required flow testing was conducted on all of our SCBAs and masks. I have a couple quick incidents of interest to share with you. On Thursday, March 21st at 11:26 a.m., Chief 1201 responded to the Mavis hazardous materials box alarm for a rolled over tanker on Grange Road, just south of I-55. It was carrying a 97% ethanol product, highly flammable and leaking. Efforts had to be coordinated to stop the leaks and offload enough product to upright it. Chicago Foam Task Force from O'Hare Airport responded to stand by and help protect personnel working on the incident, which lasted well into the evening. On March 22nd at 2 p.m., a fire occurred inside a dryer in a home in the 300 block of Kemen. A Brookfield engine responded as our fire companies were on a previous incident, smoke in an apartment building. The resident extinguished the dryer fire prior to the fire department arrival using a fire extinguisher and water. And the last item, on Monday, March 25th at 1:07 p.m., fire department responded to a basement fire in the 1400 block of Scottsdale. Upon arrival, a resident had extinguished most of the fire, but firefighters had to conduct overhaul to completely extinguish hidden fire. It appears a large accumulation of lint had collected behind a wall near the clothes dryer and was probably accidentally ignited by a resident doing renovation work without a permit. I have 2 other agenda items to go through. The first one is police department office remodel. The general background is included in the fiscal year 2025 budget, $50,000 for the remodeling of the police department offices, in particular the front records clerk's office. Staff recently met with F.H. Passion, who holds a state contract, as well as recently completing the work in the village boardroom and administrative assistant of police services office. All of F.H. Passion's prior work was completed on time and, most importantly, within the budget. F.H. Passion provided village staff with the attached proposal and scope of work, which is included in here. The recommendation is this item is for discussion and action. Additional information is provided in the attached documentation, and staff can provide additional information during the meeting. Understanding that no work would start prior to May 1st of the fiscal year 2024-25 fiscal year, staff feels it is imperative to move forward on the proposal from F.H. Passion so that the material can be ordered and the work can be completed prior to the June 1st labor increase. The motion and action requested is this item is being placed in today's April 23rd agenda for both discussion and action, and the motion is to approve the proposal for F.H. Passion for $50,000, and second, to authorize the village manager to execute the necessary documents.
Second.
Motion and second, discussion. Trustee Caputo.
Thank you, President DeCipio. Well, seeing that F.H. Passion has a good track record with us and has done other projects and some recent projects and has done a great job. I feel this is an important part of the building to restore and get the upgrades that we need here. And I also feel that, like they said, with the labor costs and that going up, I think it's wise to order the materials as quickly as we can so that we don't delay the process in getting the project started. So I'm in favor of this.
Thank you, Trustee Caputo. Trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to confirm, we're not required to go out to bid.
No, we're not.
Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner,
Yes.
Trustee Zora,
Yes.
Trustee Council,
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan,
Yes.
Trustee Stewart, Trustee Caputo.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you. My last item is for discussion is administrative adjudication. I'm sorry. General background: administrative adjudication is an identified priority in our village's strategic plans as a means to provide a fair and equitable justice system and improve compliance with the village's municipal code. Without a local hearing system in place, parking, minor traffic violations, and police-related ordinance violations are currently considered in the 4th District Circuit Court of Cook County and are to be heard by a circuit court judge. Imposed fine or fines, if any, are then distributed to the village after the court deducts their costs and fees. Administrative adjudication provides an alternative to violations being heard in the 4th District Circuit Court. With administration adjudication, a village-appointed administrative hearing officer would consider these violations and issue a judgment. Having this process in place will offer a more accessible, effective, and less complicated alternative to proceedings in the circuit court. Sorry, this is being moved on me. Sorry. Administrative education will also assist in the enforcement of the ordinance violations that would most likely not be heard in circuit court, affording the village the opportunity for improved compliance. In addition, by negating court fees, the village would collect fines in their entirety, which would provide revenue resources to sustain the administrative adjudication process. The village is working in concert with the village of Grange in the establishment of administrative adjudication. This partnership has allowed each village to pursue this solution together, which might otherwise be prohibitive if done separately due to the associated costs. A first step of implementation will be the adoption of the attached proposed ordinance establishing the process within the village's municipal code. From there, the village will consider an update to the village's fines and fees to establish a standardized fine structure for violations, a prepayment option to avoid a required appearance at an adjudication hearing, and other charges to ensure compliance with state regulations and current best practices. Beyond that, the two villages will need to approve an intergovernmental agreement formalizing the partnership, and several logistical pieces will need to be addressed. Once in place, administrative adjudication will allow for cases to proceed in the following manner. A person receiving a citation may pay the established fine prior to the administrative adjudication hearing date. Prepayment of the fine will close the case, and the attendance at the hearing would not be required. A payment hearing reminder will also be sent to the violator prior to the hearing date. Failure to pay a fine prior to the hearing date and failing to appear in the hearing may result in the administrative adjudication hearing officer entering a finding of default and imposing a liability against the violator, including the assessment of fines up to the maximum permitted for each violation plus administrative costs. A copy of the finding of default, which is a final determination, shall be sent promptly to the violator by first-class mail, postage prepaid, and shall apprise the violator of the procedure for setting aside the finding of default pursuant to the village ordinance and the availability to appeal the finding of the default of the Circuit Court of Cook County. If the violator fails to comply with the judgment imposing any fine, including the village's administrative costs, and after they are fixed by a court of competent jurisdiction or by a hearing officer in accordance with the village ordinance. The full amount shall be a debt due to the village and may be collected in accordance with applicable law. The staff recommends approval of the proposed ordinance amending the municipal code of ordinances of the village of Grange Park to establish an administrative adjudication hearing system. And this item is being placed on today's April 23rd agenda for both discussion and action. And the motion is to approve an ordinance amending Title III of the LaGrange Park Municipal Code by adding a Chapter 38 titled Administrative Adjudication.
Second.
Motion and second, discussion, trustee Caputo.
Well, as you could tell by the long-winded proposal that we have here and stuff, I think it's very well spelled out in it. And I think this is something that we need with our system and our, community systems to apprise buy-in and to keep things in a systematic order. So I'm in favor.
Thank you, trustee Caputo. Any other comments? Trustee Zora?
I just had a couple questions, and also this is a great idea to bring fees back into the village. So thank you all for doing this. I always appreciate a good intergovernmental agreement because I think that's what we're all supposed to do, work together. Is it worth looking into other municipalities besides the Grange? No.
No.
Explain, chief.
Cost, caseload, software, location, multiple factors.
Okay. I just wanted to ask. And then where will the hearings be held?
Village of LaGrange in their boardroom.
Okay.
They have adequate
that
parking.
Giant, boardroom. Okay, that was it. Thank you.
Any other comments? Trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. When does staff anticipate that this would begin?
Great question. August, September.
Okay. So that's the target date.
Next step, I believe, is working on the IGA with the Village of LaGrange, and then is it an RFP or RFQ for a adjudicator? Could be either. That's the next step.
And we anticipate that LaGrange Park and LaGrange would begin at the same time.
Same exact time.
Okay. Thank you.
Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just clarification, Chief. 4th District, Cook County, is at Maybrook?
Yes, sir.
And currently, does LaGrange come out of Maybrook, or are they out of Bridgeview?
District 5, which would be Bridgeview.
There's no problem on the county side with this?
No, it's all Cook County. They're having the same issue that we are, where we're taking some of these local ordinance, municipal code violations to Cook County. The judges are throwing them out. They're saying it's a local issue, not their issue.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that different district courthouses with the county, there's not going to be any. Thank you.
Any other
Thank you.
Council?
Thank you, Mr. President. Chief, this goes to the manpower. Will you have adequate manpower on your staff to take care of these needs?
Yeah, so the call would comprise of the administrative assistant, and then either the deputy chief or the patrol commander would be present for the LaGrange Park call. LaGrange would have the same thing. They'd have their admin assistant and then either a sergeant or another supervisor for their call.
Thank you.
Trustee Lautner?
And then who would have the authority to issue the ticket for violation? Is that exclusively through police or anybody else on staff?
Police, whoever's sworn in by the clerk. So the police officer's already sworn in, code enforcement is already sworn in, fire department, the chief or fire prevention would be sworn in as well, be able to issue those violations.
Great. Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Caputo?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you, Trustee Caputo.
Thank you as well.
Okay, Public Works Committee, Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. The monthly report for March, staff replaced 3 lead service lines with copper pipe. DPW continued water line surveys with residents by hand delivering notices. Response rates have been very effective, and we are gathering positive data. Pothole repairs were performed along with parkway restorations. Interested staff members traveled to Indianapolis to attend the National Work Truck Show to see new technologies and equipment currently available. The Sherwood Village entrance sign was completely refurbished and reinstalled to its home at Scottdale and LaGrange Road. Might I add, it looks very nice. Four village vehicles were declared surplus, were sold during the month. Seasonal maintenance to business districts began with sidewalk cleaning and debris pickup. Spring tree planting data was collected, and planting should occur by the end of next week. GIS work has continued collecting data on village-owned assets along with continued training throughout the village. Water meters were read in Section 3. 15 monthly bacterial water samples were taken. Various water and sewer work orders were completed, along with resident tree concerns and general construction inquiries. Routine maintenance to the department's fleet and equipment was also completed, as well to police and fire vehicles. Mr. President, if I might, at this time, I'd like to pass on to the board and to Director Ratty my pleasure with National Power Routing last week over in my neck of the woods with the liner being installed. I mean, they sent out a quick army. They worked very, very efficiently, and quite a few neighbors in that area were happy with not only their workmanship, how quick they were in and out of the neighborhood, but how polite they were if they needed to get out or needed to get a resident or a family member out for doctor's appointment or physical therapy. So a few people wanted me to pass that along to you, and President DeCipio. Nice job, NPR. Okay. And then next we have the Park Road agreement with Edwin Hancock. The purpose is to approve an engineering service agreement with Edwin Hancock Engineering Company for design and construction engineering services for the upcoming Park Road resurfacing project. Our paver software identified the 300 to 500 blocks of Park Road needing repaving. The 300, 400, and 500 blocks were included in the capital bill and will receive about $600,000. Due to a drastic price increase for construction projects and the timeline of receiving the money from the state, staff feels strongly about repairing the 500 block with MFT funds, as this section of roadway is in poor condition. To complete the construction of this portion of the roadway this year, design engineering must begin immediately. The fiscal year 24-25 draft budget includes $79,200 in MFT funds for these services, 270-70-51000 engineering Park Road 500 block. Staff recommends the village board approve an agreement with Edwin Hancock Engineering. This motion is for discussion and action. Therefore, Mr. President, at this time, make a motion to approve and authorize the village manager to execute an agreement between the Village of LaGrange Park and Edwin Hancock Engineering for the design and construction engineering services in the amount of $79,200 for the Park Road resurfacing project.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. That road is definitely in need of attention. It's good that it's going to be this year. I fret to think what the 300 and 400 block will come back next year or in 2 years when we're ready. But hopefully the state comes through with what's promised to us and we can get all 3 blocks done. But
Any other comments? You can call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zara?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Caputo?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Next up, Finance Committee, Trustee Lautner.
Thank you, Mr. President. This evening, first of all, I have the financial report through March of 2024. The village has completed now 11 months or 92% of fiscal year 2024, which began May 1 of 2023 and concludes April 30, 2024. Detailed revenue and expense report and comparison charts have also been attached in our packets for review. Fiscal year to date, general fund revenue of $10,875,391 is at 101.7% of the annual budget, and $869,188 which is 8.7% greater than last year. Property tax receipts are at 1.5 million, greater than last year, which is due to the timing issues with Cook County's tax extension and collection process. First installment tax bills were mailed late last year and were not due until April, while this year's tax bills were due in March. Other local taxes are lower by $183,540 or 15.5%, and that's due to lower utility and telecom tax receipts. Natural gas tax is lower following the decline in prices compared to 2022. Intergovernmental receipts for the period are down $78,000 or 2.1% from last year. Sales tax continues to trend above last year, while sales use tax and personal property replacement tax are lower. Personal property replacement tax is expected to trend lower, and that's due to reallocation of prior year's distributions following a reconciliation by the Illinois Department of Revenue, but still above budget. Licenses and registration fees are $17,359 or 5.8% lower than the prior year, and that's due primarily to the decrease in vehicle sticker fees. Permit receipts are $488,380, which is 52.8% less than prior year. That's primarily due to the higher permit fees last year for the Plymouth Place project. Charges for services are $107,269 or 11% lower than last year, and that's due to ambulance fee revenue offset by payments due to the state for the village's participation in the GEMT program. And the state was behind in collecting their portion of the fee for 2022. Fine revenue is $19,627 or 22.5% lower than last year. Miscellaneous revenue is at $233,897 or 118.6% greater than last year, and that's due to increased interest income. Total general fund expenditures of $9,277,818 are at 90.8% of the annual budget, and $698,236 or 8.1% greater than last year. As we've been tracking through the course of the year, the police department's budget is trending higher, as you remember probably, than budget, and that is primarily due to the increased overtime that they've incurred and the training costs that were due to the vacancies that they were experiencing in the department earlier in the fiscal year. And I confirmed earlier in the week that other than the police departments that we were reported here, all other budgets are within budget expectations. Thank you, Director Noller, for confirmation of that. And I have one major item for discussion, or for action, and that is the culmination of the extensive amount of work and effort that's gone into the fiscal year 24 and 25 budget and the 5-year plan. As a result of the several meetings and all of the extensive work of staff in bringing it to this point, Finance Committee met on March 8th and March 20th to review the draft budget and 5-year plan, and now the committee has come to the conclusion of suggesting a few minor changes that I'll mention here to the narrative and proved by the following motion that was made at the committee level. The motion at the committee level was made to recommend the approval of the 24-25 budget and the 5-year plan with 1, a modification to the narrative regarding lead service line replacement rate methodology, and 2, any necessary changes that are due to the Fraternal Order of Police negotiations that occurred. Additionally, the committee favored removing references to a specific lead service rate structure to allow the village board additional time to further discuss the rate methodology. This recommendation does not impact the budget calculations. We're still in place. The committee did not recommend any changes to the 5-year plan, and the committee noted that the village will continue to monitor the condition of the water and sewer funds given the projections for year 5 of the plan. As such, staff recommends 2 additional changes to the draft budget that we reviewed. First, a rebudget the fire prevention vehicle at the rate of $40,000 was included in the capital projects fund in the fiscal year 23-24 budget. Staff was unable to identify a vehicle for purchase this fiscal year. And if rebudgeted, staff will update the account 300-50-8600 and the corresponding narrative. Second, add $10,000 to the building department budget. This additional funding will provide for contingency costs that are related to the necessary training and staff overlap that's due to the retirement of our building and fire specialist. The next steps as a result of that effort is, following approval, the final fiscal year 24-25 budget will be uploaded to the village's website and distributed to the village board and staff. So first of all, Mr. President and board, I would like to make a motion to approve a resolution approving fiscal year 24-25 operating budget.
Second. Motion is second. Discussion, Trustee Lautner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll have a few summary comments after the completion of the budgets regarding this whole process. So I'd like to submit the second motion and then provide some comments. But unless there's any particular questions that anybody has regarding the budget at this point. Then the second motion I'd like to submit is a motion.
Let's vote on the first one.
Okay.
Let's vote on this.
Got to vote it, yeah.
Okay, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan? Yes. Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Caputo?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Continue on, Trustee Lautner.
And the second motion is regarding the 5-year plan. So I submit a motion to approve the 5-year plan for fiscal year 24-25 through fiscal year 28-29.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion, Trustee Lautner.
And here again, I'd like to reserve commentary until the motions are approved.
Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Caputo?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
Okay, well, I just want to take a couple of minutes here and just really commend the efforts, first of all, of staff and the department heads, their departments that extended the outstanding effort of putting together, which I think, again, is the best budget that's been put together. Every year it gets better and better, and I think here again is this year is no exception. It's a yeoman's effort on behalf of everybody in staff to put this together, to bring this to the point. I certainly extend appreciation to staff. I'm going to also extend appreciation to the committee that took the lead and did the follow-on, doing the review process to bring this to this point. But I also want to make a couple comments that I really encourage the village residents, and obviously nobody in the room, but those of you that are watching on camera, I really encourage you to take the time and at a minimum review the narratives that represent how our monies in this village are being spent and the quality of the effort and the professionalism of the people that are involved in putting this together. I think it's really important as residents for all of us to understand how our money's being spent, and I think you'll see that it's a little bit different than that many of you may be familiar with in your individual lives, your business lives, where you see a lot of profit oriented budgets, but these are accountability based budgets to understand how our monies are being spent. I encourage everyone to either come in and take a look at the hard copies, view it on the website, and I think it's everyone in the village's responsibility to understand the professionalism and the thinking behind how our combined monies are being spent in this village. So I just wanted to make a few comments of the importance of this because I think it is an outstanding effort that really explains how this village is being run. And with that, I'll again say thank you to everyone involved in it and look forward to a new fiscal year ahead.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Well said, and congratulations to you and your committee for the work you did. Okay, moving on to other reports. Our village clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report this evening.
Our village treasurer. No report this evening, Mr. President. Our village engineer. No report tonight. Our village attorney.
No report tonight.
So we leave with commercial revitalization. Trustee Stewart.
Thank you, Mr. President. Aldi, I have 3 items here for this evening's report. Aldi at 333 North LaGrange Road. Construction has started on the new grocery store at Village Market Shopping Center. It's still underway. The grand opening has been rescheduled to May 30th. This exciting project includes the construction of a 19,250 square foot building, parking areas and improvements in stormwater management, landscaping, lighting, and signage. Run for the Roses. The LaGrange Park Chamber of Commerce is hosting a 28th annual Run for the Roses, a 5K race for runners and walkers on Sunday, May 19th at 8 a.m., starting at Forest Road School. Register today for this family-friendly event. A portion of the proceeds will benefit Pillars Community Health. More information is available on the Chamber's Facebook page. CRC Committee, please stay up to date on what's happening in LaGrange Park by attending the village's Commercial Revitalization Committee meetings. The CRC meets regularly to discuss how the village can best support new and existing businesses and enhance the commercial areas in town. Check the calendar page on the village's website for upcoming meetings and agendas. And that concludes my report this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Stewart. Motion to approve committee and collectors report is presented.
Second. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I have a couple things on my item agenda. The first is listed the recommendations for appointments and reappointments to various village committee and commissions. So with the Planning and Zoning Commission, a motion to reappoint William Lampert to a new 5-year term expiring in 2029. Traffic Safety and Engineering Committee, motion to reappoint Steve May, Chairman, Paul Graham, Matt Huffman, Keith Creasa, Eric Johnson, Ryan Volkak, and Brian Sock to the committee for a new 2-year term expiring in 2026. Board of Police Commissioners, motion to reappoint Tim Albers to a new 3-year term expiring in 2027. Police Pension Board, motion to reappoint Phil Macy to a new 2-year term expiring in 26. Sustainability Commission, motion to appoint Annette Henry to fill a vacancy with a term ending in 2025. With that, I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Someone want to make the motion, please?
Oh, we have to actually make a motion. Sure. I'll make them, or do you want to do it? No. I'll make a motion to approve committee and commission appointments and reappointments as following. Planning and Zoning, motion to reappoint Bill Lambert to 5-year term expiring 2029. Traffic and Safety and Engineering Committee, motion to reappoint Steve May, Chairman, Paul Graham, Matt Huffman, Keith Creasa, Eric Johnson, Ryan Volkak, Brian Sock to the committee for a new 2-year term expiring 2026. Board of Police Commissioners, motion to reappoint Tim Alboris to a 3-year term expiring 2027. Police Pension Board, motion to reappoint Phil Messy to a new 2-year term expiring 2026. And Sustainability Commission, motion to appoint Annette Henry to fill a vacancy with the term ending in 2025.
A motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Trustee Caputo?
Yes.
The motion passes motions pass unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Next up is proclamation, the 55th Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week, May 5th to May 11th. Whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk, at a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world. Whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants. Whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk provides a professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels. Whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. Whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the professional municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. Where it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the professional clerk, municipal clerk, I thereby recognize the week of May 5th, May 11th, 2024 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Megan Cui, and to all professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. I do have to say that we have the best municipal clerk, and I'm so grateful to have you here. Thank you, Megan. Okay, next is the proclamation for 2024 Arbor Day. In 1872, Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. This holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. Whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and the countless other wood products. Whereas trees in LaGrange Park increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas the Village of LaGrange Park has been designated a Tree City USA for 36 years by the National Arbor Day Foundation. Therefore, the Village of LaGrange Park proclaims Friday, April 26th as Arbor Day, and the Village of LaGrange Park encourages all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And the last one is the 2024 Building Safety Month proclamation, whereas the Village of LaGrange Park is committed to recognizing that our growth and strength depends on the safety and essential role our homes, buildings, and infrastructure play both in everyday life and when disasters strike. Whereas our confidence in the resilience of these buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of vigilant guardians, building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, tradespeople, design professionals, laborers, plumbers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings. Whereas these guardians are dedicated experts in the built environment to create and implement the highest quality codes to protect us in the buildings where we live, learn, work, and play. Whereas modern building codes include safeguards to protect the public from hazards such as weather-related events, fires, earthquakes, structural collapse, and the like. Whereas Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council to remind the public about the critical role of our community's largely unknown protectors of public safety, our local code officials, who assure us of safe, sustainable, and affordable buildings that are essential to prosperity. Whereas Mission Impossible, the theme for Building Safety Month 2024, encourages us all to raise awareness about building safety on a personal, local, and global scale. Therefore, the Village of LaGrange Park proclaims 2024 as Building Safety Month. Let's see. I just want to make one final comment on our trip down to Springfield. It was a great trip, and it's such a great thing to just spend time with you guys and to get to know you and spend time and talk about other things besides municipal stuff. Any public participation? Seeing none? Any new business? Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Everybody have a great week. Motion
Thank
adjourned.
you.